You don't know what's going on under the
Yeah. We could be doing something else.
Checking.
Right, checking.
Check. 1,
Checking.
2. Audio check. 3.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the final episode of the Back Questions, Worst Answers podcast. Each week, I, Connor, along with my friend Charlie.
Hey. We're in person.
We're in person. We present a back question to the others. Then, as a group, we present.
Oh, you were so close.
Present these back questions. Fuck. What?
As soon as you launched into it without the script up, I knew it was going to fall apart. And it looked so good for so long.
I know. I was doing well. Damn it.
Well, anyway, we do some things with questions
with
and
the
answers.
worst answers. All right.
Yeah. And we didn't think of anything to intro the show with, did we?
No. I guess.
Well, we're in person. That's exciting.
Yeah, we are in person. Yeah,
Good to
we
be
did.
back.
We did promise that a few weeks ago, and we're finally now delivering on our promise.
Yeah, and I think we can look forward to this hopefully for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
but I'm sure we'll have to.
I'm sure we'll catalog like once the summer is nearing an end, we'll catalog those episodes. Yeah, I'm just gonna post up like this.
You're gonna two-hand?
Yeah, I'm gonna two-hand the mic, and does this frame look good?
No.
No. How do we fix? Should we just?
Well, we've already.
Yeah, I mean we're already going.
This isn't the time.
I guess
I think there's something kind of neat about it. I think I'm like too central and facing the camera, and you're just like a guy that's here.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess.
It looks.
I guess
like,
it's also weird because we have the laptop right here, and we're
yeah.
looking at ourselves.
All the angles are weird, but maybe it's kind of an artistic choice, like the Christmas tree from the New Year's episodes.
Maybe this can be the thumbnail, like a good.
Nice.
Nice.
We got it.
Okay,
so we got the thumbnail. We're back in person, which is exciting. I'm back in old Nebraska.
Yeah.
Great to be back.
And from what you said, it's been pretty inconsequential from.
Well, it's been busy for me because I went from finishing school online up in Minnesota with the fam, and then hurried back here, and I've just been working all week. So I'm fucking grinding, dude. Put in some overtime already.
Oh, yeah. There's something that I always preach, and that is the hustle and the grind. You know, waking up at 6 a.m. every day. And
yeah, you and David Goggins. And,
we just kind of get after it. I always, check the charts, check the
metrics, the data, whatever that day's data, just whatever's flowing in.
I check the stats, what's up, what's down. I kind of make sure I'm checking all of that.
No, what are the click-through rates looking like? How many hits are we getting? Can we talk about hits? I fucking hate when movies use hits to talk about internet metrics.
It's such a Gen X boomer.
Well, and what pisses me off is it absolutely started in movies. No one used the word hits before, like James Bond and shitty movies used the word hits.
Yeah.
But now it's become like an actual thing. Now people actually use the term, and I hate it. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, it doesn't really describe what actually happened. Like,
and it's just like click is fine. The thing is a click. It's not a hit. There's nothing like sexy about it. Somebody just tapped whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Can I adjust the camera real quick? This is really bothering me.
Are we going to do a cut?
No, we're not going to do a cut. You can. I'm just gonna adjust it. Should I?
Okay.
Does that look better?
I don't know. It feels like a pretty small improvement.
Well, I just.
Okay, you're a little more facing it. I can kind of curl around now.
Yeah. Sort of you're at the round table and
okay. So we got all that dealt with.
Yeah, I feel a little bit about it.
I feel like every time we're kind of getting into it, there's a lot of stop start early on in the pod.
Yeah, we just need to put this baby into third gear and get going.
Well, on that, do you just want to jump into the question? Anything else we got to touch on?
I don't think so. Check out the new vid. I thought it was pretty good.
Haven't seen it yet. Was driving down while it premiered. Talk about the premiere.
Oh, yeah, the premiere. I've never done a premiere on YouTube before, and it was fun. I was the only one talking in the premiere until the video actually started, and then we got Doom in there, throwing some pogs in the chat, obviously. We got our boy...
Love to see a pog.
Wes. He was there. He's always a fun time. Who else? There was this guy at the end that was saying that seems a little bit salty about how I said your music tastes suck.
Well, it's a pretty bold take.
Yeah, but
having never met whoever the prospective viewer is.
I guess it is, but it is in a series of videos where it's insert thing sucks in all caps.
Yeah.
So yeah, and kind of the joke is I'm kind of poking fun at everything, even myself, like
wow,
I do.
That's a lot of fun to poke.
Yeah, it's
Does your finger hurt after all that poking?
Yeah.
That's
a lot of poking around, and I had a good time doing it.
Oh, kind of a probing finger. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, let's hope tweets from that don't ever resurface, or no one ever has any allegations about that poking 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah, I don't want to get Me Too'd about this hypothetical poking we're talking about.
Well, the Black Scent video is taking care of any Me Too action that you
if I need to establish myself into the woke culture and discourse, I can just point to hey, I made a Black Scent video. That's kind of my that's kind of my.
You made a satirical Black Scent video. That's the second search result for the term.
Yeah, I am
YouTube.
the spokesperson for Black Scent. So if anyone takes issue with me, I don't in this.
Well, and I think we can really consider you sort of an authority in terms of race relations in general right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm the second search result when you search Black Scent on YouTube. So
I mean, you're a meaningful contributor to this nationwide conversation we're having about
and when you look at all the videos when you search Black Scent, it's me and all these other black women. So I feel like
you mix well with people of color and minority groups.
I'm kind of
Nebraskan white guy.
Yeah, I'm just kind of in the fold, just going like, "Hey!"
In the fold is the perfect way to describe it.
I'm in the fold with this sort of woke discourse, and
you know what's happened with the camera adjustment is my
your crush.
We aren't sponsored. We're not going to fucking say the name until we're sponsored. But yeah, my crush.
It would be nice if we got sponsored by Crush, Manscaped and Crush.
Let's start with anything. I mean, I'll do a tampon ad if.
Yeah, I'll do a tampon ad too.
I mean, not that I wouldn't if for any circumstance. I just feel like that has nothing to do with our audience,
Well, wouldn't it be funny if we got a Manscaped and like a Raid Shadow Legends?
I'd stoop to mobile games.
Yeah.
If they want to pay for the 30 views, we can contribute each week.
Yeah. Okay, we've gotten 8 minutes off topic too long. I feel like we should just get into the.
Yeah, we can jump into it. So the premiere. Let's conclude that premiere talk though first. Was that a success, or can we look forward to more premieres in the future?
I thought it was a success. I had fun doing it. It seemed like that one guy at the end didn't really understand what I was getting at with the video, but it's fine.
I think all those things are good just from the YouTube algorithm perspective. I feel like it pushes live, premiere, and shorts a lot. Because I feel like I just see a disproportionate number of those things.
And that guy that kind of misunderstood my video, I'm kind of used to being misunderstood.
Wow, an outsider.
Kind of an outcast.
A Washington outsider, Connor Moffat.
Which, I mean, I've got kind of a chip on my shoulder in this YouTube game. And... I'm ready to get after it. I'm in here with the
This is my friend. This is my friend, and this is a guy that's been grinding for years now.
I've been grinding my ass off.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to be up there with the David Dobrik's and the Logan Pauls.
Well,
all canceled.
Incredibly problematic.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to be there, a voice of light, with my Black Scent video. My well-crafted Black Scent video. That is people see
a disproportionate amount of traction.
Yeah, almost at 20,000 views, which is a little bit ridiculous and kind of alarming for.
Hey, but you're getting your voice out there.
Yeah.
You're a part of a conversation that needs more people like you.
And it brings in the females. It does bring in the female.
It expands the audience. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Anyway,
speaking of expanding the audience,
I've got a question.
Real banger.
Yeah. So I was just a preface. I was taking a walk, I think last week, and sort of the arch that goes onto campus, under it is like this rail yard, and this train was coming through, and I was like, in my head, are trains automated? And if they aren't, when will they be? Is that the right question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I feel like trains would be the first thing that are automated. And if they are, I really don't have any interest in doing research on my question.
Well, and that's what's fun is I had a pretty good mental answer to this already because I love trains. I'm not like a train geek like the ones that like know models and stuff, you know, but I just think they're awesome. I'm a big fan of like we built that, you know, just like cool shit.
Trains are definitely one of the weirder forms of transportation, I think.
Especially in the US where they've just I shouldn't say they've failed because it's a less desirable means of transport in a country like this, but like they're especially odd here and especially like behind the times and underdeveloped. So the deal with trains, Connor, is I can fill you in, and I googled this literally in the time it took you to ask your question. I googled and confirmed all this information. So that's the low level of effort that it takes to produce this show or to answer this completely absurd question.
Which we have really no interest in doing that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is all we're willing to provide.
Yeah. And what were your findings?
So here's the deal. Trains are mostly automated. Like a big freight train or something, I'm pretty sure most of them still have like a guy that kind of sits around and hangs there. And I think that's the case for most like metro and light rail things. Is
they
that
need
there's
like
still
a
someone
guy.
Well, it's like somebody that's like driving it. Like they're at the controls, but I think things mostly control themselves anymore. Like they're just sort of like a fail safe. Although in my 10-second Google search, it said that some cities are running on fully automated trains. So I imagine that's it's a thing that's out there, but I still think it's mostly assisted by like human assistance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes the most sense because like it's literally there's the human doesn't have to have any sort of direction. Yeah, maybe they're the rail switching, you know what I mean? When you switch maybe that needs a human, but that can be automated too. You know, in Minecraft I can set up an automatic railroad system like that. It's pretty easy.
Well, you can also go to like an underworld dimension that's
but
I'm not sure that's like the bar.
Some of the Minecraft is based in realistic.
No, I'm not.
I mean, anyway.
Just jumping ahead from that.
But it makes the most sense. Just because I was saying the direction. Yeah. I don't know. I was just curious about that because.
No, I think it does make sense, and I think it's something that like in the U.S. it's easy to forget is happening because trains are so. That wasn't my audio you turned down there, was it?
No, I'm turning down my audio.
Okay.
I'm looking at the levels and they seem a little bit too high.
You're just doing some level check over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be too
peaky?
Yeah, peaky.
Anyway, I think in the U.S. it's easy to forget about the presence of trains because they're so bad here. But I know on the switching thing, I took a train home from California over Christmas, and I'm sure we talked about that at the time. But I remember, I'm pretty sure, like when we pulled into some of the stations, like dudes would walk around and manually switch the things.
Really?
Now I don't know if like something like a system was down or whatever. But I think a lot of it's still manual.
For show thing, like a 1984.
Maybe. But we weren't on like a, this wasn't like it was a experienced train. Like this was just a shitty Amtrak, which I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah. I guess my answer, I guess my question is so broad and non-specific. I don't know. I don't know what to, because I guess my take was, either way is like we're doing this, why, like, and if they weren't, I'm like, why the fuck aren't we?
So this would have been your crusade, but you weren't willing even to Google whether your crusade was legit or not.
I have literally no interest in doing any of the research on my questions.
Again, a 15-second Google search.
Yeah, which I mean, hey, I just wanted, just my own thought, curiosity, my own. Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
I thought we were gonna get more out of that for some reason.
Well, I can talk more about trains because they are pretty fun. I think a lot of countries are way further ahead of us. Like Japan has like an incredible hyper train. I can't remember what they call it, but like speedy quick light rails thing going on over there. Really annoying that I can't remember the term, but and they're super good. Like they've got, it's like, 99.9% on time, which is ludicrous when you think of any train system in any American city or like the Amtrak system. It's like absurdly on time. I think it has like actually zero fatalities or crashes over its entire running.
Well, that's good.
And the U.S. tried its first fast-ish train. I think it was in San Francisco or L.A. And literally it crashed on the first corner. Like, the train took off and derailed and crashed, and I think like multiple fatalities, tons of injuries on the first turn.
Are we just that fucking stupid? Or
yeah. And here's what I don't understand. It's not like unpredictable, Like it's like high school physics, I feel like. Like how fast
I feel like train. Well, I mean that was kind of my point. Trains seem so simple to understand.
I feel like you could have taken an engineering or like physics minor from college, and they probably could have done some basic math. And just checked that it wasn't going to turn over on the first corner. But we're really fucking bad at trains. A mind-boggling one, though, on the automated control is that planes are almost fully automated now.
Really?
I think it's
that's kind of scary to me.
Yeah. I think the pilots are pretty much just there for takeoff and landing, and I think that planes do most of that themselves now anyway.
It makes me so nervous.
It's freaky.
Because I'm going to be on a plane when I go to New York again. I'm going to be a little bit weirded out.
I mean, it's the same thing where they've got the two guys up front, and I don't think we're anywhere near not having pilots in the cockpit, but it's pretty much entirely automated.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's my understanding, at least. I'm no expert, but it's crazy.
Airplanes seem one of the most complicated, especially in air travel where there's we don't want a Breaking Bad situation to happen where
But that was human error. I mean, I think that's the benefit of the computer is it can spot those sorts of faults. Or, a good AI could.
All these fucking robots taking our jobs.
Yeah, that's a good take. Ageless takes.
Automation's taking my McDonald's job. What's the deal with that?
We are entering a weird period because, forever in the past, when something would come along like the tractor or something.
Yeah.
It was, a majority of the American populace was agrarian or farm based or, based in agriculture. And then the tractor came along and just removed the need for a huge percentage of ag jobs. And we just got over that. But the reason we were able to is because there were other low-skill jobs that those people could transfer to now. And the problem is now the technology is getting, a robot that comes around now that replaces a low-skill job, low-wage, low-skill, but still very important to keep the economy rolling. There's fewer and fewer replacements for those low-skill jobs, and or fewer and fewer low-skill jobs filling in the gap. And that's the worrying thing, is that you need to re-educate those workers and find ways to transfer them into fields that they aren't built for, because they're working at a Starbucks or something where there's no field-specific information.
Well, and
that's
especially in a place in America where it seems like now that this newfound train knowledge, there's so many idiots out there.
Yeah. It's this tough thing where the cost of education is going up a ton, and the base education we get is no longer adequate to get people into a thing. A high school degree just doesn't get you anywhere.
We need
anymore.
A Gary V university where it's you pay maybe $10 up front, and he's just all you need to fucking do is to fucking hustle. College, I've had my differences on college. It's fucking useless. And then he just goes on a 10-minute rant why you need to wake up at 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah, but you need the degree, and you need the specialized.
Well, yeah, it literally is $100,000 piece of paper that.
I think the problem is, and again, no one cares about my opinion or asked for it, and it's mostly uneducated, but I just feel like high school is essentially useless. I mean, I think college is useless for a lot of degrees too, and a lot of people that get a degree that can't put them anywhere. But
I know high school is supposed to give you that, even college gen ed classes. I feel like, why are we taking them? And I know college, wasn't the principal of college kind of as an exploratory, something that's kind of optional. You go to college to open the mind.
But now you like declare your major ahead of time.
Yeah, now you have to go to college, and no one's expanding their mind in any sort of intellectual way in college. It's, I mean, there's some fun and merit to it to some degree, but we really have trapped ourselves in this weird position. Yeah,
it's a lot more box checking than it ever used to be, and I just think like if high school were more like career oriented or like vocational. In some way where you left with like some usable skills, that would be way better. But like forcing kids to take AP Chem is just a waste of everyone's time. Like teach them a useful, applicable thing.
Yeah. And the only AP class I took was AP English, and the reason why I love that is because it was just like up my own interest, my own alley.
Exactly.
But I feel like the world is getting less merit based and more, box checking and sort of vague. Like there's not as much to back up what is happening in the system.
It's an interesting thought. I haven't ever considered that as much, but there's definitely a point. I think you're really onto something with the idea that like you're not it's not as interest focused, and like I think there would be a lot like it's a lot more about like what classes do I need to take to get this major or whatever, instead of like go take the things you're interested in and leave with like a good knowledge of something something you're passionate about, not just like a major that you declared before you had any idea what you wanted to do and it's too expensive to stay and like transfer into something else.
I feel like high school, I mean, this isn't a new take, but high school should prepare you more for the real world, and if you, like college, kind of bring that back to that base thing where it's sort of is vocational and exploratory, and like it can help with
and definitely stuff. More like in depth. I don't want to say that you should just take like random classes.
I mean, if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, I mean, probably need to go to college.
There's some specialized skills I'd like to think you have.
Or like engineering or something. But if you're gonna, I mean, I've said this plenty of times. My major is completely useless.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought it was gonna be fun, and then my first class freshman year, they were like, "Okay, here's an assignment on how to organize folders in Windows." And I sighed and said, "This is useless," and I still stand by that going into my senior year.
Yeah, I think the ultimate thing is that like high school should, and maybe I don't want to put it all in like high school, but like our required like elementary preliminary education, if it were more geared towards helping you find the thing you're interested in, that would set a lot more people up for success than people that just like go to college having no idea. Like I've been incredibly lucky and fortunate to have gone into college with a good idea of the thing I wanted to do and then continued to be passionate about that thing. I think I like that's just literally something that I lucked into.
And I guess like I'm lucky as well. I guess it as going through this experience and being so already jaded about it, I guess it has kind of it sort of reaffirmed my passion, but in a more self-fulfilling way. Like I don't know if that's the right term, but it's sort of been like, okay, I want to do this, but all these other like
but like I want to do it however like my
however I want, and I think that's how people get the most successful by doing their own thing. You definitely don't want to just be like a paper pusher or like the sheeple sort of a deal where you're just like doing what you're told. And that's what most of kind of the people in my major in college are. They just see box checkers, not really entirely creative, and they just they do this and then they go run like Wendy's Twitter or something. Like that's pretty much what these people do.
Although whoever's doing that is like getting tons of love online.
People really love a sassy social media.
When Big Burger is really throwing it out.
Big Burger's getting sassy on social media.
I see it a ton in my major too, and there's always going to be people that are like sucking up to professors and things.
Yeah.
And there's certainly nothing wrong with building those relationships.
No, yeah,
like,
but
I
most
love
of those
many of
most
my
of those
professors,
people are gonna come back working for the university. They're gonna, they're gonna go live in New York for maybe 2 years or even less than that, and then be like, I think it's time to go back to Nebraska, and then they'll just like work within the system.
Yeah, I know a lot of like, older generation. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Starts with a B, ends with Uber. Yeah. Like I think a lot of those people like to talk about how much college isn't what it used to be and that kind of a thing.
Well, even my dad is like, this isn't the shit I was learning in college. And he went to college 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, and I love just that general idea of like nothing should have changed over 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
When you look at like, just think of how different the world is now than it was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, faxing was still like a standard way of communicating a document.
Yeah. And I feel like there is some sort of validity when some, B-oomers,
capital B Oomer.
Will be like, this isn't what it's supposed to be, in which I feel like with this system, it's definitely should go back to what it used to be, because it just seems more useless than ever, and I mean it's incredibly expensive, which I mean this isn't new. Again, it's just I feel like it's so fat, and it's not something that I would go out and protest or anything. I just think it's incredibly fascinating how it got to this point, and how it's just kind of eye-opening how it's just like a dead body. I don't know. It's
become so bureaucratic too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to brag, but I currently work in academia. And like there's so much like bloat to it, and just like it's not like everything about it is sort of failing to. I think the point I was initially trying to get to with the boomers maybe being on the right track with this is that when they were in college, or at least the way they talk about how college was when they were there, it was way more about like pushing your interests and pushing your boundaries.
It seems a lot more about like utility and what you're going to use this for.
Yeah, well, and just like thinking bigger, right? Like encountering a lot of different people and thinking new things. And now it very much is parts of it for me, and it sounds like a lot of it for you too, is more about like a high school deal of just like checking the boxes, getting through it, and people still succeeding in the same way, like just doing what they're told and not. Like
I have to take a philosophy 101 course to fill a gen ed. Like what the fuck? Like why? It really is incredibly bloated. I feel like that's a lot of. I mean, I don't know anything about other countries, but it feels like a very America thing, just to kind of stretch it out and bloat it to a point where it. Yeah. Like I was thinking about this the other day, and I mean, this is gonna be another probably stupid take, but just the point of a 9 to 5, because I was thinking about like, I feel like people are preaching this a lot, where people who work 9 to 5s only work 2 hours of that 8-hour shift, like real productive work. And I feel like that's true, because what are you doing in those 8? Like, what job truly requires 8 hours of work? I mean, seriously, like for 5 days out of the week, what job requires truly 40 hours of work? I mean, I worked at Runza, and I mean, I'm being very productive during those times, but I feel like a 9 to 5 office job, it's very, seems very bureaucratic and useless. Like what?
I'm sure that's true, and I think there's a good point to be made that the efficiency of those hours is probably not as good as you'd want it to be.
Yeah.
But I also think it's like a lot of that's like meetings and stuff like that that's important, and a lot of it is like, I think people are going to the average worker, like me, for instance.
Yeah.
If you tell me to come in for 2 hours, I will come in and be efficient for the same percentage of that 2 hours.
I guess that's fair.
8, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like another thing that I thought it was just like it's just kind of an excuse to give those people a living wage and salary, I guess.
I think you need them. I'm sure people are only peaking their efficiency for a small portion of that.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I'm doing 9 to 5 right now pretty much. And it's not like I'm like it's not like you work for 2 hours and then just like scroll through TikTok for the next 6. Like I'm working for pretty much all that 8 hours. I mean, there's an hour in there for lunch or whatever. And I'm taking breaks on my phone probably more regularly as the day goes on. But like I'm working for most of that. And I think most people do, even if the efficiency dips off. Mm-hmm. I think the idea that it needs to be 9 to 5 is being challenged. Yeah. Especially now, like that we've proven online can work so well. And I think a lot of the meetings we used to have are being challenged. I know people are pushing a lot more for like, if this can be an email, let it be an email. Or if it can be like a 5-minute video call, let's do that. Let's not all force ourselves to meet in a conference room. And
yeah, like I had to do a one-way interview. It's just, I at 2 a.m, I took 20 minutes out of my time to answer 6 questions. Mm-hmm. We're really getting down to the nitty-gritty of America.
All from that train question.
Yeah, all from that train question.
It all stemmed from a simple question about trains.
Soon enough, we're going to get these, political, economic people on the pod. Like I don't even know who. We'll get some important people on.
Janet Yellen, maybe. Yeah. Or is it Jane? Ooh, that's going to be.
I have no idea who that is.
Wrong. She's the chief economist, basically.
We'll get like AOC on here. Wouldn't that be funny if we got AOC on here?
Janet Yellen. Okay, I was right. Yeah, are we going back to promising big guests? Is that
we'll go back to we'll manifest AOC to play Among Us with us while she tells us to vote.
Kind of an odd time to tell us to vote.
Yeah,
mid-June in a non-election
obviously
year.
Not right now, but I'm assuming what's the whatever the fuck the
well,
primaries.
I feel like this is the only time we have a chance at getting her. I mean, like when it comes time to actually vote.
Well, you'll be in DC. You'll
That's true. I can use my connections. Yeah. I'll just like hang outside. Man, that's weird to think that if I like just hung outside like the
like her
Congress
office.
building.
Yeah. Like, be like, hey AOC, would you like to come on and play Among Us? And
that's crazy.
Talk about what it was like to experience the Capitol riots or something. I don't know. That'd be fun.
We're gonna turn into a heavy politics podcast.
So this is what
bit of a pivot.
Yeah, a bit of a pivot for the BQWA. Today we're going to be talking about the year anniversary of the BLM riots.
Peaks include the water episode, AOC, and former President Barack Obama.
Yeah. Barack Obama comes on to talk about my Black Scent video with us. Talk about how much that was a cultural touchstone. I
think as little as we can talk about the Black Scent video, the better for the success of the BQWA.
I agree.
Yeah.
A lot of road bumps. I feel like I've been noticing in the. Well, I don't think they're bumps in the road necessarily. There's.
Without the bumps, you couldn't have the smooth
true.
Or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I cringe at a lot of stuff I do. Do you do that as well?
Oh. Awful. I get a kick out of when I'm bored sometimes, just like scrolling really far down my texts. I've talked about this before, but although what I'm finding is more often now I'm less cringe. Like I have to go further back to be cringy. I think maybe like a year and a half ago, it would only take like a few months to scroll back and be like, oh, I said that. But now I have to go back like further and further, which I think is a sign of like becoming a little more mature and sort of finding like the way I want to handle and treat people. But there's still certain things, like certain relationships or like friendships and stuff I've had where I like all I have to do is just think back to like any part of
I'll
them.
I'll be making dinner and I'll just remember something. I'll be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why did I like? Yeah. I mean, I guess I cringe more at myself creatively now more than I'll look at stuff I did 6 months ago and I'll be like, why the fuck did I make that video? And I guess it's a sign of progression, becoming better, I guess. But I've also been thinking about a lot, like where does it end? Because I
don't think it ever does. I think maybe part of that is not necessarily that you don't achieve like a good state,
Yeah.
But I think it's more that you're just like constantly changing. It's maybe not. There's definitely a component of probably like always wanting to be better and whatnot, especially creatively. But I think it's also, if you want to think of it in the creative context, like tastes change. Like when I look back on old photos I've taken, which is probably the most consistent creative endeavor that I've had, where like the output thing is the most comparable to other current outputs. There are things where I'm like, I shot that? Like I wasted, like a few megabytes on a SD card for that. Whereas now like my taste has changed. So not only is it a quality thing where it's like, oh, that's awful, but now it's also like even photos that I think are good now of my work in the past are less significant to me because I'm not trying to make stuff like that anymore. Like I'll be like, oh, that's good, but boy, is it not, what I see anymore, or try and shoot more.
Well, I feel like a lot of people creatively will have like a not a pendulum swing, but just like a curveball. They'll, because I feel like someone only has so many things to say that they're educated on. Yeah. And that's something that I'm afraid of, where it's like, I'm going to run out of, eventually I'm probably going to run out of things to fucking talk in my bedroom about. Like and I know this is a fucking stupid ass problem because
I think a lot of people are struggling with what their next YouTube content output is going to be. I think it's super relatable.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's my next rant video going to be about?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
But we've been talking about it in the context of your recent videos too, where like you experimented with a format or whatever, or like tried some different new things, and we're like, not for me. Circling back. Yeah. But maybe like, would you say you were embarrassed by those?
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah. See, like I think it's sometimes just like testing different waters.
I think a lot of the time too is I'll tweet out and be like, this is my worst video yet, and then I'll tweet it. I think I'm starting to convince myself that I think I need to reconvince myself that, sort of like a Dr. Disrespect. I don't know if you know that he's like a streamer. He had a tweet. What was the tweet? It'll be like 2 seconds. I'll pull this up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if I tie it back to my photography, there's definitely times like when I go and try something new. Like I went out with friend of the show Brett a few weeks ago, and he's recently bought a film camera and has been trying to get into that. And he's convinced. I've now bought one.
A few weeks ago, were you in St. Louis?
No, I was for like the day and a half. I was in Omaha before I went back up to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. For graduation.
Yeah, exactly. We went out for just 30 minutes one night and just like shot around Blair. And I took a bunch of things, and I was like trying some different stuff, and I didn't really care for much of it, but I don't feel embarrassed about it. I think that's like the new line that I'm finding.
The tweet was, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm still on a whole other fucking level. I want to start feeling like that again. I need to start convincing myself I'm sort of like this Kanye-esque person, and then it'll just kind of manifest itself into that. Well, and I think a lot of it is attitude as well.
I think a ton of it is the confidence to think you can succeed. Yeah, too, because if you make the greatest thing ever, or if I go and do a good shoot or make a good architecture related thing or something, but don't think it's good, that's just as bad. And then it's on my friends to do the annoying thing where they're like, no, Charlie, that's good. And I hate putting people in that position.
I think like a big folly of it because you don't want to be so overconfident to where you're making bad shit. Because I know there's plenty of people out there, even in my major, though, but like, this is so fucking good. Like, this is the best. Like, this is so innovative. And in reality, everything that they do is shit. And I just don't want to. I don't want to be that guy, but I also don't want to be that guy that's like, ooh, this is fucking awful. But in my head, I'm like, it's not bad. It's like, it's pretty good. I don't want to be that guy either. Yeah. There's too much self-consciousness and self-awareness going on. I need to fucking, I don't know.
Well, and I think at the same time, it's like frowned upon almost to be confident. You know?
Yeah.
I think people appreciate.
Because a lot of people mistake it as cocky, but I feel like a lot of the people,
or just like intimidating.
Yeah, that harp on that are insecure of their own lack of confidence and
I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I think the world would be better if obviously the world would be better if everyone had like a perfect cocktail of confidence and modesty. But I think it's obviously everyone's going to be stuck in the middle. But there's it's like easier to fake being. It's more socially acceptable to fake being modest or like I don't know than it is to fake being confident and cocky.
Yeah, I agree. I keep looking at these levels, and look at my levels compared to your levels.
I don't want to say anything about this, but I did say before the show that I thought my levels looked low, and you'll remember that.
Your levels look normal. I want to get to a place where
you're gonna be all over the charts.
Yeah, fuck.
Well, this one's shot.
Well,
can this episode? I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
No, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be bad either. I just look at the focus right, and I'll be able to turn it down in Premiere. But this was a weird episode.
I think we really
to talk about trains, and then we lead to this.
Yeah, turned water into wine with this one. So anyway, that's that's how trains are automated. How much trains are automated. Do you feel satisfied?
I do feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I do feel satisfied by that. I guess I'm more entertained by my self curiosity than that. I think someone's calling you.
Yeah, we better book it out of this.
Okay, we'll clap it out.
See you next week.
See you next week, guys, in person.
Mike's going.
I'll
to the
probably
table.
be at Charlie's this time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. I thought we could do like a fun little back and forth.
That's cute.
Because I don't want you to do the legwork every time.
I can get a podcast